Hello world of the internet, it's Bear here, and I'm watching Chrisley Knows Best. I'm gonna give you my reactions. Yes, it's the season finale. It's hard to believe. There's 2 episodes tonight. So they're sitting at the table, and Todd says he wants the family to do something good, and he wants them to all come together and work. So he reveals that he organized some work with this charity that he's involved with for people with disabilities. They're going to be helping a single mom build a house. Now Chase and Savannah are automatically like, no, that's horrible. Why don't you just write a check? Why should you have to do all that? Well, Todd's persistent. He's going to do it. And then Faye starts saying how well she can do. She knows everything about construction. She can nail it now. You know, she can do better than all them. And Chase like, Daddy, you don't know nothing about construction. I can do anything you can do 10 times better. And she's like, well, that's because you're younger. But, I don't know. Maybe she could do it better. We shall see. So then we find out that Grayson needs some help with his school project. He needs to make a family tree. Now, Faye says that her grandpa told her that her great-grandma was Cherokee Indian. Now, Todd just thinks that's absolutely ridiculous. No way he could be a Cherokee Indian. And Faye said, oh, I go to casino. I want to tell people I'm part of that reservation. Which, I don't know. We'll find out. Hey, so it's back from commercial break. So they got to go meet Bree and her mom. Bree is an 11-year-old girl who, when she was 3, she was in a really bad accident. She got some brain damage. They showed her. It just looks so sad, the situation she's in. They started the construction, and Todd, he was making sure everybody did their work, and he wasn't doing any work. So Lindsay's like, oh, what are you doing? And he's like, well, I'm supervising. I'm telling everybody what to do. Every project got to have a project manager. And he was being real harsh, telling everybody they weren't doing good enough. And then Julie had a talk with him later, like, Pete, they did everything they're supposed to do. You should be nicer to them, and you shouldn't make them resent it. You should make them feel proud of themselves. And Todd's like, maybe, yeah, I was being a little bit harsh. I'll try to do better. Julie and Faye were talking about what their ancestry was. Faye's completely convinced that she is Cherokee Indian. So Todd brought some DNA test in, and they thought it was completely disgusting. Kind of was. They had to spit into a little cup, and then it would test and see what they were. And then Grayson said, I just hope I'm half Jordan. And I'm thinking, like, Jordan like the country? But Grayson's like, I want Michael Jordan in my blood. And Julie's like, I'm sorry to tell you, he's not in your blood. So then they're back at the construction site. Todd was trying to be positive, trying to tell everybody he was proud of it. And then, of course, Chase and Faye really got on it with who they thought could work better. And Todd asked the construction worker who he thought worked better. He said, I would say your mother. Todd was trying to go around and be positive, but he had to fix the painting. Like, y'all need some help from an expert. Yeah, he's some expert. So, this episode's almost over. So, they came together. They did a really, really good job with the house. And I just feel like that's great for them. Their mom just looks so thrilled that they would do that for them. And it was just incredible. I applaud them for doing that. It's incredible that they did it. So then they got the DNA results back. Turns out Todd is 52% British. That's interesting. And then found out that Faye does not have 1 ounce of Indian in her. So then Todd's like, she's not my mother. She's not actually my mother. And then Julie's like, well, I always thought you was adopted. I really don't know how reliable those DNA tests are. I'm thinking maybe something was screwed up in there. I don't know. I mean, Todd being 52% British, that doesn't sound right at all. So then the next episode started. And it was weird. Some neighbors, a little boy and a little girl from the neighboring house, came to the house with some Halloween cookies. But, yeah, they never got a chance to meet their neighbors. They've been so busy. But, yeah, they came and gave them some cookies. And they found out that they're doing a Halloween house decorating contest. So Todd's into it. He wants to go all out crazy because he's going to win because he's really competitive. So then we see Faye and Lindsay on their way to come help them. And, excuse me. And Lindsay tells Faye about what's going on with her and Will. Now, if y'all haven't heard, the news broke several weeks ago that Lindsay and her husband Will had separated. Now, the weird thing was, like the week after that got announced, the episode where Will and Todd made up, because they were never on good terms, and they hardly saw each other. But then Will and Todd finally made up a few weeks ago on the show, but it happened right after the announcement came out that they were separated. And they were and Todd felt good about it. But then Lindsay said once they got that problem worked out with Will's relationship with Todd, a whole nother set of problems started, and it was just too much for him. It's sad. Sometimes that's how it happens. And then the show's come back on. But real quick, Todd asked Chase to go check on the other house, get some pictures so he can cheat. They can see what the competition is. That's typical Todd, all right. It's in the next commercial break. It's pretty sad. But when it got back, it showed Grayson and it's hard to talk. Grayson looked over at the decorations at the other house. They got caught taking pictures. Well, Chase was trying to distract the mom that lived there, and then Grayson was going taking pictures, and then the dad came out and caught him, and wasn't thrilled. So then they got back to their house, and Julie and Savannah were actually making the decorations. They had gone to the Halloween store and bought decorations, but Julie thinks this is what'll put them over the edge, and Todd doesn't like that. And then when Chase and Grayson show back up, they tell what happened, and then Julie, obviously, she knows Todd so well. She's been married to him 20 years. She knows that Todd put him up to that, and she's like, why you gotta be so competitive? It's like that when they had the sports day. Grayson had to go spy on the other family. This is the way Todd is. He's competitive and he's okay with bending the rules. So then Faye and Lindsay showed up, and Julie said in the cut interview, I thought it was really gonna be helpful. We could need a few extra hands here. And then Todd's like, with Lindsay and Mama, I don't think so. And Julie said something to the effect of, well, one can hope. Then Lindsay took Todd and Julie inside. She told them the situation. Todd felt really bad. They were all crying. Todd went through a separation about when he was about Lindsay's age, and he just felt horrible for her. But it's really sad that he's had 2 children who had a significant person in their lives, and it didn't work out. Of course, Kyle's girlfriend, they never got married, but he felt really bad. It's back on. It's really sad, you know. So hey everybody, the show's just about over. Season. Yeah. But so they did the haunted house. Excuse me, why do I call it haunted house? It's more like a front lawn creepy thing. Anyway, so Chrisley's had a really good house. Todd was the host. He looked like a zombie vampire kind of thing. And he showed Julie, the Wicked Witch, his wife. And Faye was the dead bride. He called her his mother that never was, or something. Mother that never had him, or something. It didn't make any sense. And then Grayson was a zombie in the hospital, and Lindsay and Savannah were the dead nurses. And then the judges came around, and then they had a lot of cool stuff, but it was a lot more of the acting that really shined. And so they came over to one of the gravestones, and then Chase popped out. That was really good. And then, yeah, they showed the other 2 houses. They were pretty good, too. Thing is, one of the houses had food, and then Julie's like, I should have done food. They had alcohol, and they had moonshine. Guess which house won? The one with the alcohol and the moonshine, of course. Why not? Hey, so they all congregate around the bed, and Julie had to put some snakes in the bed, so Todd get in like, ah, snake! Of course they weren't real, they were like little toy snakes. But, yeah. So, Todd had a little bit to say at the end. Well, he asked Lindsay what she's gonna do now that, what's her next move? She's gonna live there, or she's like, I really don't know. And Todd's like, well, he said in the interview, like, well, actually he said to her that, you know, whatever her next move is, just tell him and he's gonna support it. And he said in the interview a few things like, with all we've been through, we've learned how to survive disappointment, whether it's small, like losing the Halloween thing, or like life-changing things like Will and Lindsay getting separated. They can survive it because they're a family. And I thought that was just a great note to end the season on. I mean, they've gone through so much in their lives, they can take it. Which, this show, there really is a heart to this show, which a lot of people don't really get. But like, if you become invested, there really are a lot of messages to learn from the family. These last 2 episodes, they've really inspired people. It's not just slapstick, goofy family acting like a typical family. It really means something. Which I feel really bad for Will and Lindsay. I know Todd has said several times he wasn't thrilled that they eloped, but he supported them. Which Todd, he's really got heart. I mean, he's got a lot of attitude. He got a lot of he'd tell you what he thinks, but he really feels for his kids. He really cares about his kids. But he's gonna help her through it. I feel like he's really a good man, even if he comes off a little not. He really is a great man. Having said all that, it's been quite the 2 episodes. Quite the season. I will catch up on all the episodes I missed, but I'm just a bear living a crazy life.